going to use the calls that would have been used at the Navy at that time. So what's going to happen is every time before you fire your cannon, you're essentially cleaning it out and getting it ready. You're cleaning and reloading it. So if we were at battle and we were just firing helter-skelter, I wouldn't stand on the decks and scream out these orders. I'd just shout, "Fire at will." And they would do these steps every time they load and shoot the cannon. Ready, kids?
Ready, Captain.
We're going to do this like the Wonder Years. You got a few minutes until we say fire in the hole. I see everyone's looking up. I'm going to tell them the order they need to perform. They'll let me know when they have performed that task, and I'll tell you good folks why we're doing it. Unapron the vent. Apron is a piece of leather, fits over the back end of the cannon, covers the vent, also known as the touch hole, but we don't call it that because you guys giggle too much. So that piece of leather keeps the vent dry and keeps dirt and debris from getting down inside of it.
Unapron.
Clean the vent. It's going to use what looks like a pipe cleaner. The bristles are made out of brass because brass does not create sparks. Last thing you want when you're loading your cannon is sparks happening. So he's going to run that pipe cleaner thing down the vent to kind of make sure that there's no dirt and debris and that it's dry.
Vent clean.
Stop the vent. A thumb stall, like 3 pieces of leather sewn together, looks like the thumb of a mitten cut off. That's going to get closed down over the top of the vent and held very tightly. If we were at battle throughout the day, there could be embers in that board. When they start ramming the charge back in, it could ember up those embers and pull air through that vent, so he stops that airflow from coming through.
Vent stop.
Worm the bore. Worm is a conical piece of metal at the end of a stick. Gets run down the bore of the cannon, twisted, and pulled back out. Every time we fire the cannon, a little piece of the cartridge that we use gets stuck in the back end and it has to get pulled out. So that's what that does.
Full worm.
Wet sponge. Sponge looks very much like a giant Q-tip. 2 pieces of wool on either end. One's dry, one's wet. Takes that wet sponge, runs it down the bore. A, that cleans the bore out, and 2, it douses any sparks that are in there.
Sponge.
Dry sponge. We all saw what happened to black powder when it gets a little bit moist. So now he'll turn that swab around and he'll dry out the inside of the bore.
Dry.
Receive your cartridge and load your piece. Cartridges were made in cotton bags, kept below deck. The powder monkeys, which were young children and thought they had it too tough at home working in the fields, would take off and join with a pirate ship on sea. They would be the ones that would bring the cartridges from the hold up to the cannon. So during battle, the sharpshooters and the other ships were actually aiming at the children. If you could get one of those children knocked out, then you're stopping the supply of powder to one of their cannons.
Charge ram.
Check that it be home. If we were firing a true cannonball and that charge wasn't seated tightly against the back of the cannon, it could cause the hull to explode. So we have to check that it be home to make sure that that charge is seated all the way to the back of the cannon.
Charge home.
Pick the cartridge. Brass wire gets run down through that vent, wiggled around, it pops open that cotton bag and exposes the powder for firing.
Target picked.
Receive your primer and prime your piece. Primers were usually made the night before from a bird's quill. We'd cut off the end, splay it open, fill it with a very fine-grained black powder. That would be set in the vent, and that's what they would use to light it off with. For the safety of you people and my crew, we're actually going to use green firework cord. So what's going to happen when we light it, it's going to do a little sizzling thing, and then it'll explode. For you guys in the front row here, for the little people, lock your ears and open your mouth. A, you look funny, and B, it helps to equalize the pressure in your head. Everyone yells that they can't hear us yell fire in the hole when we do the gunshots, so I'm going to have you folks help us. Gun crew, clear the, oh, they already ran. We have to clear the field for people who are not involved with the absolute firing of the cannon, in case anyone gets hurt. So what we're going to do, we're going to count together. We're going to yell 1, 2, 3, fire in the hole. Ready?
Not quite yet, Captain.
Okay. He's going to be lighting the Linstock, the slow match. Slow match, I make it at home. It's 100% cotton fiber rope. Gets soaked in a very fine ground gunpowder and water, and then laid out to dry. The cotton fibers will burn about an inch every 10 minutes. Ready?
Ready, Captain.
All right, crowd, count with me. 1, 2, 3,
fire in the hole!
I have the greatest job on this fairground.
Myself and my ship's assassin will be walking around with our hats upturned. If you'd like to make a donation towards powder.
We do have an extra last treat for you folks.
What? Oh.
We are going to fight a duel.
Put my hat back on.
Pirates occasionally